be a successful human being mentally, physically, emotionally, you were partying and we were all there, like partying, drinking. Like, what made you say, like, hey, this is not for my life anymore?
My first kid was born, and I legit was out of breath carrying the baby seat. Wasn't active at all, so I think you get to a choice. Which one do you want more? So do you want the burritos and all the alcohol? Or are you seriously sick of this? I legit would have their mom carry the car seat. I'm like, can you carry this to the door?
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Hold up, real quick. Like, subscribe, comment below, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Geena the Latina Show. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, our next guest is one of the most successful people I know, one of the smartest people I know. And when I say success, it's not just like financially success, because I think that comes, but it's emotionally, mind, body, spirit. And if you ask him, Evan Tando, by the way. Hello.
Thanks for having me.
If I ask you that, you're like, oh, no, that's not me. That's not me, right? But I've known you for how many years now?
I was thinking about that. Is it 15 or?
Maybe 15 years. So I have, or longer probably. I mean, I've lived in San Diego for almost 18 years. And you were literally one of the first people I know. My first house I bought through you, right? So I feel like we've grown up together. And so I've seen you evolve, and you were always a great human being. But like, once I started seeing you doing different practices, it's like night and day, and it's for the better, right?
Yep. I definitely thought about different times that you've known me on my drive over.
Yes. And I think, and the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because I have so many great friends, and I just feel like I need to share my friends and what I've learned from you guys and seen with the world. And people don't realize that what you do, your mind, body, soul, is a direct connection to your success in life. And when I say success, it's not just financial, it's financial too. It's emotional, it's everything. And people just think, oh, I want to be happy, or I want to be successful in my business. I want to do that. And they just do one element of the mind, body, soul. You are a living example that if you do all of it, like, you have to do all of it to get to where you're at. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's start, by the way, in our real estate and finance.
Pretty much.
And he is a broker. Wait, tell everyone what you do. You do everything.
Yes,
Okay, real quick, before we go any further, we got to shout out to our food sponsor, Cravings Fruit Bar. This is some nice green juice, because that's what we do on the Geena Latina Show. Cheers. You can find them at Santee. Shout out to Miguel and Fidel. At Cravings Fruit.
So good.
On Instagram with a K. Okay, back to the show.
I own a mortgage and real estate company, and also a property management company. So I help people buy and sell real estate and originate their loans, helping them build their real estate portfolio over time.
Yes, over time, right?
Yep.
And you sell and you know what I love about you is no matter how big you've gotten, you still help the little people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the most important.
Yeah.
That's
because you could see, like, you could just go and sell only multi-million-dollar homes, which you do, right? Because that would make you bigger commission, but you still make it a point to, I've seen you sell homes for people's first homes that are in the lower 100,000s, right? And why do you do that?
I mean, for me, I think it's really important to help the average middle-class person, anybody, step into a home, because that really is going to affect them, their kids, the next generations, and it's getting tougher. So I really want to try and help as many of those people as possible. Yeah,
and he'll still be out there showing houses, doing all these things for these, which, if we're talking business, you're not making a whole lot of money off those per se. So, and that speaks to who you are and who your character. Like, you want to help the average person get their first home. Like you did. My first home was a small home, right? And now you've done all of them, right?
Yes.
Why do you do that? Just 'cause?
Well, I think that if you're not giving these people attention, they're not going to have the opportunity, and they're going to get left behind, especially in San Diego. It is tough. There's not enough homes. There's a ton of demand, and I think these people need the attention, and they need the attention from everything from being very specific about the loans that they can qualify for to stretching it as much as they can to get them in. I just think that they're the most vulnerable.
And I love like Evan, if you have a question for him, by the way, what's your Instagram?
Broker Evan Tando.
I bet you if you message him, he'll answer you back. Like he doesn't make you feel dumb. He doesn't make the average feel like I'll ask you like in my mind, sorry for this dumb question, but you always take the time
Absolutely.
to answer it, make it simple. You create all these videos for the average person.
Definitely.
And a lot of people don't know your accolades. Tell me the awards you've won alone this year alone. He's winning every award, and people don't realize this.
I don't know about that, but San Diego Changemaker was the latest award and probably the most meaningful. It has nothing to do with production. It was about giving back to the community. And so that was voted on by my colleagues and then community. And other than that, it's more looking at production, but there's actually so many agents. So it's like, okay, your top 3% for buying and selling, there's that. And then there's top 1% of the nation for originating mortgage loans, things like that.
That's what you won for that too.
Yeah.
He's like saying it so casually, but he's like one of the top real estate realtors in the country. Look, I'm gonna brag for you.
I mean, there's thousands.
Yes.
But yes.
See, he will always downplay it, but you don't get there overnight, and you don't get there without changing your life. Okay.
For sure.
And on top of that, you have investments, you've done all these other things. You're being so modest right now. Lift off your resume. Anyways, okay. So I wanted to talk about like how you got from A to B, because when I met you, you were probably, how much more did you weigh than you weigh now?
Let me think. Okay, so at least 60 pounds more.
I think more than that, probably. I think you've told me that.
Well, but there was all fat, no muscle.
Yes.
So it even looked.
And you're probably like, why are we talking about weight? But you were just unhealthy. It's not just your weight. What were you also doing back then?
Eating, drinking, a lot of that. a lot of the eating and the drinking and not running around.
And you were still a successful real estate agent, but not to this point, right?
Right. I was doing really well. But I super imbalanced. And I knew you then. And these were some of the thoughts that I was thinking about as I was coming over here.
Yeah. It's just like when you look at someone, you could tell if they're healthy or not. Healthy emotionally, physically, spiritually. And you could still function, right? But you're not functioning at your highest.
Right.
So how do you get from, and we're just going to, your health is just one of the many things you changed in your life. But your health, what made you decide to just lose 60 pounds? And let me tell you, he is regimented. What time do you wake up every morning to go work out?
I wake up between 3:30 and 4:30 Monday through Friday, and 5:30 on Saturdays and Sundays.
All the time?
All the time.
Even on vacation?
Oh, even on vacation, for sure. For sure, usually between 3 and 3:30 on vacation.
Yeah. So you wake up. Tell me, and then what happens?
Okay, yeah. So if I wake up with the extra time, which is ideal, then I'm sitting in bed before I get out of bed. It's like I need to stop my thoughts from automatically going to work. So then I'm going through my body, taking deep breaths, and then going through a meditation of going through all my chakras to balance them out and focusing on each one.
And this is at what time in the morning?
So it's between 3:30 and 4:30.
So he wakes up. And let me go with that little. So you wake up, and I think this is really important because people want to be successful, mind, body, soul, and we'll get back to the losing the weight thing. But you have to put in work, right? So you wake up, and the first thing you do is what it sounds like is ground yourself, and you're clearing your chakras. And what is that? Explain to that what people don't understand that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, each of your chakras go to a certain part of your body and your mind, and so when I'm going through each one, I'm really focusing on it. I mean, it's really a reminder of what I'm going to do. So for me, it's pre-paving your day, just like athletes get prepared for their game. So there are certain things for me I know I have to work on all the time. So, a lot of mine might be with how I communicate with my spouse or my kids. So when I'm going through my chakras, for me, I'm pre-paving how I'm going to work through my day with them. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God. Like, I hate when people are like, I don't have time to meditate. He just said that he wakes up at 3:30 to make time to meditate, to make time to balance your chakras. And if maybe you're listening to this and you don't understand what balanced chakras mean, you can like do it. You can Google a meditation for it. And it's really, so you have a bunch of different chakras in your body. And I'm glad you know how to do that on your own, by the way, because I used to do that for you.
Yeah, I'm like from you. Yeah.
But you have to really like balance your chakras, because sometimes when we're feeling all out of whack, it's because our chakras are like all over the place. So if you're doing this every morning, what did you call it? Pre-paving
To
your
me,
day.
you're pre-paving, just like an athlete.
You're setting, before, and I don't know if everyone knows this who's watching on set or whoever, before I filmed the first episode today, because we film multiple episodes per day, I did a meditation upstairs, and I just asked that whatever is supposed to come out in these podcasts and these shows to get out to the people, let that come out whichever way it's supposed to go, and I asked that everybody have fun today, and that it be easy, and that it just be, a good, that we get, because the point of these shows is to get out to the masses what someone needs to be hearing or seeing, right? And that is a form of my pre-pavement, right? And a lot of people just start their day, rush, don't make time to do these things, and how long is that whole pre-pavement, do you think?
I mean,
when you balance your chakras,
I would say 10 to 15 minutes. And it's the balance of the chakras. It's downloading thoughts for what I want for myself for the day, letting go of things, letting go of energy that's not serving me, and then forming a bubble and saying thanks.
Yeah, and saying thanks. And this is all before he does anything.
Yeah, it has to be.
And it's every single day. Pause. It's Geena the Latina. Okay, so what you need to do right now, if you're liking the content, is you need to like, subscribe, and comment, because we want to keep this show going. We need to mess with the algorithm a little bit. So if you like this show, help us out a little bit, and make sure you follow us at TikTok and Instagram at the Geena the Latina Show. Okay, let's get back to it.
Have I ever missed? Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, but
you try,
most
right?
days, absolutely.
And I think it's people don't realize how important this is to set your day before you start doing things. I don't care what time you wake up. That's why I brought Evan on the show. If he can do it at 3:30 in the morning, you can do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. You could do it at 8, because most people don't have that regimen, right? And so we're starting it with whatever that is. And we should do I think we did a whole other episode on clearing your space, and that's what he's doing. And I taught him how to do it. It's through theta healing, which we're going to do another episode on that. So whatever that thing is, and maybe you don't have he's been, and we're going to go into this a little bit, but you've trained with Reiki healers and all these stuff, so he knows how to do this. But if it's a simple journal you're writing in the morning, is a simple I used to do a 5-minute meditation where I would just close my eyes and just ask what you want for that day, and ask to be given energy, and be grateful for whatever. That's all you can do for your pre-pavement.
I agree. I think start small. Don't overthink it. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's probably not going to feel how you imagine or see on TV.
Yeah, you're expecting this ooh, this light. No.
Yeah, some are really amazing, but a lot aren't like that. But I think it makes a huge difference in your day.
Yeah. So you start at 3:34. So you do that, and then what happens after that in your day?
So I do that. Then I'm getting up, brushing my teeth. Then I'm going straight to my office, and then I'm writing down some gratitudes, and then I'm writing down the most important things that I have to do for the day.
So let's get back to the gratitude real quick. What do you write? Is it 3 things? I'm just trying to give someone guidance if they're watching this and they want to start this. Again, this is a highly trained professional who is highly efficient and has been working on this up. So take whatever version of what he does, but I wanted to bring him because I do feel like you're the extreme, which is a good extreme. You are the goal to let's get here. And I've seen you from not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So what is this gratitude thing you do?
Yeah, I mean, there have been different forms, but right now I'm literally making sure I write 3 to 5 before I get into my goal setting for the day.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing right now. I think there's a lot of great different forms to do it. But
so just 3 things you're grateful for.
Yeah, that's a minimum. And so that's what I do if I have the time to go write it down. By the way, if I don't have the time, I still do it, but I'm going to do it in my mind. Yeah. So let's say I wake up closer to 4:15. I'm like, I don't have time to write it down, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. And a good thing is you could write it in your voice note. You can record yourself saying it into your voice recorder. That's another thing you do. So you've written your gratitude and your goals. What are your goals? Give me an example of your goal. Say today, maybe. What was your goal today?
Yeah. So today, my main thing is, I had someone who I needed to give them a bunch of loan options because I saw it come in late last night at 11, and I'm like, I have to go to bed because I know I'm getting up early. So I wanted to give them their options right away. I wanted to post on my story the San Diego median price and a couple of other stats. And then I wanted to do the pricing for my Airbnbs, reprice them for what was left for the holes in December.
Yeah. So you write down your goals, okay? And this is on an average day. Now we're at what, 4:15? What time are we at?
Oh yeah, well no, because it's Sunday. So Sunday I sleep in
Okay.
till 5:30.
Okay.
So yeah, this is between 5:30 and 6.
Okay. So then after that, what do we do after that?
Yeah, so after that, so Sunday is a day that I don't do a formal workout. So now I'm at 6 and now I'm going to have I have coffee. I have a piece of Ezekiel bread with 40 grams of avocado, 3
Yes.
hard-boiled eggs, a half an apple with half a tablespoon of peanut butter, and a rice cake.
Do you see how regimented he is? Okay. And this is and this is his off day. We're filming this on a Sunday, guys. This is not a Monday. It's not a Tuesday. It's a Sunday. Okay. But there's something to this, right? So you knew exactly how much you're putting in your food,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So then walk me through your day. Keep going.
Yeah, so this is...
And normally, if that, you would have had a workout, right? This is your
Oh
off
yeah,
day?
so normally on a work day, so if I get up at 4:30, that to me is by 4:30, all those other things I talked to you about, which to me, I love it. If I'm up at 3:30, then I've done the things I've said, but I've also had time to read a book that I want. Just extra things. That's my time.
From 3:30 to 4:30 in the morning, guys. Okay, this is great. No.
Yep. So but once it's 4:30, it's like, oh, now it's on. So between 4:30 and 4:45, I have to be dressed, ready to go out the door because I want to get to the gym literally when the doors open at 5 a.m.
Okay.
So I'm one of the first people in, and then the weights is from 5 to 6, and then from 6 to 6:30, I'm running. And then, between 6:30 and 6:40, I'm out of the gym and I'm back home by 7.
Okay.
During this time, I've also been checking email, checking my Instagram, and I've already scheduled and posted the post that goes out at 4:45 a.m. So now I'm trying to answer in between workout and keep that busy.
And he's texting me back in the morning because I text him all the time at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I love
and
it.
sending voice notes back and forth. So now we're back home at 7 a.m. on a normal day.
Yep, now we're back home at 7 a.m. and the whole breakfast is starting. I'm eating that real quick and in the shower by 7:30.
Okay.
So shower by 7:30, and of course I'm locked into my schedule, and I also have my main full-time assistant. I have her set up where she is up and working by 6 a.m. So we're trying to get things done. We both have kids. We're trying to get things done as much as we can before we know we're each going to have our own time that's being present with the kids before they head out the door. So 7:30 to 8 is being really present with the kids. So I shouldn't be on my phone and also trying to talk to them. It's not a good combo.
So he's very mindful of that, right? And you can be sitting here thinking, oh, this is a crazy regimen. I can't do it. But if you want to know how truly successful people get, this is what they do. This is what people like that do. But I want to point out, you said you're going to be present for your kids before they go to school for 7. So he did all this work before 7:30.
Yep.
To be able to put your phone down for that half hour.
Yes.
And I'm very aware of that too. Like people, like when I'm at dinner with my boyfriend and his son, I put my phone away, and that's it. Like that's how it is. But then on other times, then I'm, so what? So then what do you do with your kids from 7:30 to 8?
7:30 to 8, honestly, they're just getting ready. They're having breakfast. They're getting dressed. But I'm there with them and just reminding them about time and just talking to them about their day and getting ready. I also have them write goals. And so, we're thinking about, okay, what do you have going on today? Okay, remember how you said you wanted to get straight A's? Okay, so if you have that test, and I know you studied last night, do you want to look at it real quick? No, I'm good. Okay, no, but let's do it anyways. It's probably a good idea. These are the conversations we're having. And then I take them to school and we do the same thing every day where we say mantras. So on the drive to school, it's maybe 8 minutes. We're yelling out loud and we're saying like, today's a great day and we're doing this thing. And we go through today's.
Give us an example if a parent wants to maybe do it with their kids on the way to school.
Yeah. So every time we start off with today's a great day. And then they say back to me, today's a great day. And they know like we want to smile. We want to feel it in our body. And even if you don't feel like that at the moment, start doing it because if you read the studies about literally if you just start smiling, even if you don't feel like that, it starts releasing good chemicals in your body. And just like I tell my kids, smile at other people, you're giving them a gift and then they're going to smile back and it keeps going.
Yeah.
So we go through today's a great day. Then we go through who they love. So they love their parents love them, they love each other, they love their dogs. So we do that. We go through their friends. We go through people like me, I'm fun, I'm funny, I'm good looking, all these things that like make you feel good, give you confidence. And then we go through what we're going to do at school. We're going to participate. We're going to raise our hands. We're going to do quality work. We're going to do well on our tests.
Mhm.
And then we end with today's a great day.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you get to school at 8:00.
And then we get to school at 8:00.
It's crazy.
And my
right? But it's
teenager's
so
like, bye.
good. Yeah. So they leave. And then what happens after that?
So the first thing I do is look at my phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pull over if there's anything urgent and I'm handling it right away. I know 7:30 to 8, I've been with my kids. My assistant has been watching anything urgent from 7:30 to 8, and now 8 to 8:30, she's with her kids. And now I know, like,
And he scheduled it out, right? He
Yeah.
scheduled it out because he cares about his assistant and her being, and
Absolutely.
so they kind of switched off, right? And the reason why I bring this up is that yes, your schedule may not be as intense or whatever, but you can make something work. But it takes planning. It's not like you don't, like some people think like, oh, I hate this. It's like, oh, my life sucks. I'm so sad, I'm depressed, but they're not doing anything about it. You expect like
gosh.
something to come down and just, you need to create habits. Like,
Yep.
and that's why I want to bring on, because you are your whole day is a habit, right? But if you could just do a few of these things, it's gonna start to change your life. And we'll get into like this didn't happen overnight. Okay, so then throughout the day, what do you do?
Yeah, and then so throughout the day, so I have a planner that has increments of 30 minutes. And so I oftentimes break up the 30 into two, so it's 15 and 15, because what I found is that if I don't block out my time, I'm all over the place and never finishing anything. And that can still happen to me. So then I have a timer on my desk that when I can see me going off what I've scheduled, then I go back to the timer. You can do 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes, and I'll start the timer for the task and it will beep at me. And the beep is great because if you get off task, it's like, oh, I forgot I was doing that.
Yeah.
So then I just plan my day. So some of it might be callbacks to clients, blocking for emails, blocking for research. I do a lot of writing for the things that I post. So I have to block all that apart and then block apart appointments.
Yeah.
So showing homes or meeting with clients or things like that.
But it's all very organized, I will say.
Yeah, it is organized.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So then your kids get off of school.
Yep. Kids get out of school. It's so awesome. Now they walk home.
Okay, that's great.
So honestly, I might not see them until 4. So it has to be organized between that time so that when they come home, I'm not also working and trying to talk to them or be with them. There may be some of that because they're older, but it's not going to be as extreme. And then I'm also going to work that out with their stepmom and with my assistant based on who can cover what.
Yeah. So it sounds very organized, but and then you make time for dinner, and I just know you very well, right?
Yeah.
And then you're working again at night
Oh,
sometimes.
you better believe it. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot. I didn't want to put you on blast, but you're working a lot, right? And then you go to bed and you do it all over again.
Yep.
7 days a week.
7 days.
Variations.
7 days, Monday through Friday, pretty strict. And Saturday, Sunday, I get a little bit more time. But I mean, for sure, this morning, I was working and talking to a client at 6 a.m. It's Sunday.
Yeah. So I was talking to my boyfriend the other day, and I was like, I get up early too. And so, and I do a lot of my work before I even go to my work, right? And when I mean work, I mean like for, we're on the board of the Positive Movement Foundation. We're doing all these other things so that when I go to work, I could just be on the radio, right? I know who's going to text me back, and these people are not on the radio. And there's a few people that will immediately text you back. I'm not expecting everyone to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but there is a common trait around all the people that are up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They are highly successful, highly functioning human beings. Like they are up. I already know, like in their own like different craft of what they do. I know that they're up because they have some kind of a regimen, right? So I will say your goals, right? We're not all going to be like Evan, and you're not perfect either, right?
Oh, not even.
But so let's take it back, because you weren't always like this.
Right.
And I've seen it, and I think it's just beautiful, like how much you've grown. But I think like, and the reason why I want to bring you on is just like to show like to be a successful human being mentally, physically, emotionally, it takes work, and you've put in the work.
Right.
So let's start with the weight thing. How did you lose 60 pounds, or when did you make it? And I don't even think it's about the weight. It's about, you were partying and we were all there, like partying, drinking. Like I remember like we would go out and party.
Big
So
time.
what made you say like, hey, this is not for my life anymore?
Yeah, I was really uncomfortable. I think at some point I had my first kid was born and I legit was out of breath carrying the baby seat,
Mhm.
the car seat. And I thought this is ridiculous. And I had actually been an athlete my entire life. And I just wasn't active at all. So I think you get to a choice. Which one do you want more? So do you want the burritos and all the alcohol? Or are you seriously sick of this and you kind of want your clothes to fit better and present better in front of other people and feel better about yourself? And I
And be able
was,
to carry your kid without huffing and
yeah,
puffing.
it was, I legit would have their mom carry the car seat. I'm
Yeah.
like, can you carry this to the door?
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous.
So what do you do from there then? Because
So,
that's not from that to waking up at 4:30 in the morning to work out. It doesn't happen overnight.
absolutely not. I remember a friend of mine from high school, and we had stayed in touch, and she became a sheriff. And I remember her going through training. And we would talk because I knew I wanted to change, but I just wasn't ready. And she was like, no, you can do it. She just said, I would walk and then jog and walk and then jog. So that's what I started with. But it wasn't even walk and jog. I literally had my slippers on, would take my coffee and walk around the block. It was that basic.
Mhm.
And then before you knew it, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna leave my coffee at home and I'm going to walk a block and then jog a block and then walk a block and jog a block. And that's how it was. And honestly, I hated it. My shorts were going up my legs and I'm thinking people are probably looking at me like this is horrible. But I thought, do you want to stay like this? Or do you want to change? Do you want to go through this and change? And I thought I want to change. So then I kept doing that over and over again. And then a friend of mine actually opened up a weight loss clinic and they had been working on it forever. And they were like, whenever you're ready. So then I did it. And it was a meal plan that was it was hardly any food. I mean, I think it was pretty extreme. It was like 700 calories a day.
Mhm.
And so, I did it knowing I was going to do it for 3 months. And then that was it. So I did it for 3 months, lost the 60 pounds and kept going from there. Got into endurance sports, then started running half marathons like a crazy person, got obsessed with that, did some
Started doing
tries.
CrossFit.
Yeah, yeah. Then I got into bodybuilding because I went so crazy, I hurt my foot. So then I had to start lifting weights and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you could see probably now looking back, do you think you're more balanced with that? Because during
Yes.
that, we're all healing, right? But I feel like you were focusing on that, but you weren't healing the emotional part of yourself
Yeah.
yet, right? So which could bring you when you're working out and trying to lose weight to unhealthy habits too, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Because then I got into the bodybuilding and that was a whole other thing.
I remember when you were
Oh
eating
my
just
gosh.
like egg whites and that's it all day.
Oh, it was crazy. It was like 3 hours of workouts a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I had body image issues. I thought I was fat, and it was like, no.
I was like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a whole other thing. So obviously, I'm a little extreme.
Yeah.
But I did get really healthy, and I had stopped the drinking.
Yeah.
And so I finally found a way to make it all work. And that was also at the time that then I was getting divorced
Mm.
and splitting up. And that's when you introduced me to theta healing.
The theta
And that
healing.
was like a whole other level of working on
Yeah.
things.
And so he started, doing working out, whatever, and then theta healing, which we still need to film an episode on. We refer to it all the time, and I haven't did a full episode because it's just so like a lot, right?
Yep.
But theta healing is energy healing, and I'm a certified theta healer. And I introduced you, I think, probably to Vanessa, right?
Yep.
I'm one of my friends that's a magnificent theta healer.
Yes.
But so that's now we're getting into the emotional aspect of it. So that was the physical aspect of it. You're starting to change your life, right? You're starting
Yep.
to change your life. But now let's get into the emotional aspect of it, which can contribute to all that. So what did you find out about yourself when you started doing energy healing?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely went into it with an open mind. And I think because I wasn't feeling great overall, I thought, well, and you recommended it, and I thought, I'm not asking questions, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
But it blew my mind. So I mean, if you aren't spiritual, this stuff to me is like another level because it's things you cannot explain. So Vanessa had never met me. I went in to meet her and she knew all these things about me that there'd be no way for her to know. It was unreal. So it really got me reconnected spiritually in another way. And then I was just open to everything and all different modalities. And I really wanted to learn. And to me, there's such a science-based part of it
Yes.
that also makes you really understand and buy in.
So a lot of people think all this stuff is like woo woo, like energy healing that. But I love because you're one of the smartest people I know, and so of course you researched it.
Yeah.
Like, what is this thing? What do you mean science based? So people can understand that part.
Yeah,
of it.
I mean, there's a real true energy level. There's energy that you can measure. And that's why it makes a lot more sense how we're connected to God or a higher spirit or those who have passed before us. So to me, when people think like, oh, I feel like I saw this person or any of these things, I'm like, you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I promise you did, So because I've read that whole Theta book.
Yeah.
I mean,
of course he did.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was just mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
So.
So you start to work on yourself. So you've worked on yourself physically. Now you're starting to work yourself on emotionally, right?
Yep.
And do you feel yourself changing the more you start doing? Because I know you do Reiki too and all
Yep.
that stuff. Can we talk about how all this is connected? And the reason why I want to keep bringing this up is because I started with him going about his day, right? And all that, right? The goals, right? But all this, would you say like this has been like the last 10 years or so that 15 years? I don't know how long
Yeah,
you've been
I would
working.
say the last 10 years.
To get to where he is today, right?
Yeah.
And it's all a part of it. People like just want to be happy or want to be successful at work or want to be successful in a relationship, want to have like a loving relationship, and they think they can just do one thing. It's all intertwined, and I am passionate about that, right?
Definitely.
So now we're in your emotional. So how do you start seeing like how do you start seeing your everything else change? Even your physical probably change.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing is that when I was starting to get healthy, so losing weight, then you're not drinking as much, you're not eating as much. And so your gut health is related to your mental health. And so.
All right, hold up. This is like your 20-second Geena the Latina PSA. I need you to like, comment, subscribe below because we want to keep this show going. So if you're liking what you're hearing, please do us a favor and like, comment, subscribe below, or follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Geena the Latina Show. That's the Geena the Latina Show. I don't know why I can't talk. Back to the show.
When your mental health is better, also business-wise, doing better. Now I'm not hungover. I'm not hungover on any days. I feel 100%. I can think clearly when I'm talking to people. I do a lot of math, so that's going well. And now I'm starting to explore this entirely other part of myself. And for me, I'm just trying to grow and learn because also when you get divorced, you kind of know, okay, well, for me, it was what could I have done different? And it wasn't what could I have done different to stay with that person, but I knew I had a part. And I really wanted to work on those parts to make myself better, just in general. I wasn't even thinking about the next person.
Yeah.
And I was also a dad at that point. So how could I work on those things? So I think when I started to explore the spiritual part and learn about chakras, it kind of helped to explain all these things that I needed to work on.
Yes. When they're like, oh, your throat chakra is blocked, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Of course. Like I can tell immediately what chakra is blocked and how you can realign. I feel like we need to do a whole episode on chakras, but
Seriously.
I'll just go quickly through it since we're talking about it. It's your root chakra, which is right down here. And this is like what keeps you grounded. It's all your physical parts. It's all, that. And if you ever feel imbalanced and crazy, your root chakra is probably fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the second chakra is it's like your creative chakra. It's like if you ever feel like, oh, I have no ideas, I just don't feel inspired, blah, blah, blah. It's probably because that chakra is off balance, right? So this, when it's fully functioning, you have the best ideas. You go draw, you go to the beach, you're just like so creative, So if you're ever feeling like, it's probably because of that, right? Your third chakra is your power chakra. And a lot of people are over powerful or under powerful, meaning like you've had those people at work who just walk around with like their, their chakra's too over much. But then you have some people who can't even speak up for themselves and can't like stand in their power. So you have to want to have a balance of that where it's not like, too much and not, so you have to balance your power chakra. And then you have your heart chakra. And you know these people, some people are so closed off to being loved, to giving love. They're so hardened. And then, and so these are the people that want to open your love chakra, like you want to allow love in, even like love for yourself, right? So if you're ever feeling like that. And then there's your throat chakra. And your throat chakra is a lot of people, some people, it's overbalanced. Those are the people that yell and just talk for no fucking reason, right? You know those people, right? Or some people can't speak up for themselves. They feel like, or maybe they're holding something in that they haven't been able to get out for years and years and years. And then it starts to affect the rest of your body. People don't realize that these chakras being blocked start to affect you for years. Some people don't speak up or don't have held something in for like all their life.
Right.
Imagine how much that's affecting them, right? And then you have your third eye chakra, and this is your chakra right here, and it's connected to like when you meditate. This is like the powerful
best.
chakra. This is when you zone in, when you're just like connected to spirit, to God, to earth, to whatever, Mother Earth, whatever it is you call it. And then your your crown chakra is up here, and this is like connection to whatever it is you believe in, to all your spirit guides, your angels. And you need that because they're always helping you. And if it's closed off, guess what? You're not letting them help you. You're not asking them for guidance. So every morning he is adjusting all his chakras, and it sounds more complicated than it is, but but you've worked to be able to know how to do that to yourself every day. Like I know how to do that to myself, but it's like people may be watching and say, well, I don't know how to do that. You can learn online on YouTube.
Definitely.
We can, I think the second part of this episode is going to be us doing that. We could do a whole clearing
That's
the
a good
chakra.
idea.
Okay, so you start getting into all the spirituality, right? And what do you start seeing happens like in your work and in your personal life and all that?
To me, the spiritual healing is like therapy, fast forward without the BS, you know, because I'd done tons of traditional, didn't get anywhere. So now as you're starting to clear things, well, things just start getting a lot easier and a lot clearer. And I think when you're working on yourself and being a thumb pointer, you're not really worried or ever blaming anybody else or anything else in your life. And you have total control on what your destiny is for that day or moving forward. And when you have that kind of control, you know, you can really dictate what's going to happen. And I think that's where you start having the power to do better in work and succeed because you have the confidence knowing you have that control.
And would you say that the universe starts just like opening up the right people in your life, starts taking out toxic people, like things like that?
Absolutely.
Right? Without you even trying, kind of.
Without you even trying. It's not an easy process.
Yeah.
But I think that the universe for sure will show you everything that's true. And then you have a choice of whether you're going to listen to it or not. And if you don't, it'll keep happening to you.
Keep happening.
Until you
happening.
change.
Yeah. And then, so you start to come to this place where you feel really, you know, you meet a new partner. I'm telling your story for you. You go different, you start a new business, and you just really start to see things or I don't know if you do, but I see it. Like it's like night and day.
I mean, the new partner is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So I'm remarried. Yes. New life.
Loved on.
Yep. Stepmom to the kids. I mean, it is the kind of partner
and we're not saying anything bad about the other partner. It's just different. Like sometimes you weren't a good probably partner.
100%.
You know what I mean? And maybe it was your fault, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're like a different person. And that's what I always say is like you can change throughout your life. Like who you are when you met your partner now is not who your ex-wife would even probably think, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They'd be like, who's that person? That's why I didn't know that person,
yes.
you know?
No, 100%. Yeah, and I think there was that. And then, business, I had been with the same partnership for like 15 years. And I realized that wasn't really working for me and we weren't aligned. And it was a hard truth to face. That felt like another divorce.
Right.
You know, so that really shook me from the ground up. But I knew I had to do it. And I'm one of those people, once I know something's true, I have to deal with it and I have to do it. I know I'll never be happy if I don't. So I made that decision. And a lot of the decisions I make in business are not money focused.
Yep.
And for me, that serves me best. And so making this change, I knew it was going to affect a lot of things. But I can tell you that it's been a couple years and I haven't felt this happy or balanced in, I don't know, for as long as I can remember being in this business, you know? So I know I did the right thing because it was shown to me many times that it was time to make a change.
So you made a change and now you are in control of like what your values are. And one of the main points of your business is to give back.
Yes.
To give back. And let's talk about that a little bit because you give back to everybody and everything.
I try for sure.
And why is that such important to your business model? So when he started his company, his main thing was to give back. And we've had other guests who've said the same thing and are highly successful. And
Yeah.
people don't think about that when they're starting a business. Like, what is your intention? Like, you know, and I like, so before we get into it, so for my intention for the show, and I don't think I've ever talked about it, was to help people, whether it's educating, sharing, learning, laughing, whatever it is. And that's my intention. We're not making $1 right now. Now, hopefully one day we do, because, you know, this is all pay for itself. But my point is that your intention really matters to success at the beginning.
Right.
And I remember when you branched off and you started your own company, and the main thing was you wanted to give back.
Right.
When you had nothing. I remember when, and he's being like, you didn't have an office, you didn't have access to your stuff, and you're like, fuck. But the number one thing was, you told me, is I want to give back. And you did immediately when you had nothing.
Yeah.
And explain that. How did you choose, or what?
I mean, it's in my DNA.
Yeah.
You know, I went to school for social work. I thought that's what I was going to do. I accidentally got into what I do now, but I knew I could give back. I don't need every single dollar. I mean, when you die, no one even cares what real estate or investments you have. Nobody cares. I think people have a lot more to give back than they think. So I just knew if I set up a program for myself that I was going to take a minimum from every single deal. I calculated and I thought, oh, there's a lot of money there, you know, and that's a little bit, I'm not even going to think about that if I just put it to the side, and that's really going to add up. So that was something that I did and that I committed to, and it's gone really, really well. And so it's given me a chance to get to know local nonprofits in San Diego, things I'd never think about just different marginalized communities in San Diego that I didn't think about. And, you know, people have said to me, oh, I bet that's really good for your networking. And I'm like, no.
He doesn't do it for his networking.
I don't ask anybody anything. I don't care. People go, oh, well, I'll put your logo. I'm like, oh, I don't even care. Like,
he really doesn't care. Like, literally. So he's sponsoring one of our events, right, for a nonprofit, and he'll, whatever. I'm like, no, you're giving us a large amount of money. I'm gonna put your logo and I'm gonna put it big, like, so everyone can see it, right? But and it's not just because of that, but it's because like you deserve, like you just. But he doesn't. He genuinely does not care.
No, I genuinely do not care.
So I do it for him.
I do research to make sure they're going to great causes that really use the money for something. So usually they're smaller. They're not like the big corporate ones. And I try to do my research, and I just want the money to be used in the right way.
And let's talk about the houses that you build. Which nonprofit is that for?
It's called Humble Design.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, and tell them what you do, because you're one of the main sponsors. I'm going to brag for you. You're one of the main sponsors, but you believe in the cause. What is the cause?
Yes.
What do they do?
So they furnish homes for people just getting out of homelessness. And what I think is amazing about that, and what people probably don't think about, is, so let's say someone gets housing, they get funding for their housing, they move in, they literally have nothing. They're sleeping on an air mattress, maybe with like some random blanket. You're walking into that house from work, you don't have the dignity. And so a lot of those people fall right back into homelessness. But they have done studies to show how much more successful people are when they have a place that's fully furnished. And I mean, it is fully furnished.
Yeah.
Paintings on the wall.
Like you feel better in your home. And I think
Yes.
we've talked about this in every episode. If you can create a home environment that makes you thrive, you're going to be successful, right?
Yep.
So what they do is they come in and create that for these people who can't otherwise afford it, so that they're started out on the right foot, right? Now they just got to go to work and sustain it, right?
Yep, exactly.
And that's just one of the many organizations he supports. He's being really modest right now. But I do think that, and I'm going to say this from outside, you don't give back to receive.
No.
But the second you started this, your business has flourished. You've won all these awards. Like and all the awards are for like realtors of change, community service, like top people in the community that, you know, I wish I should have wrote them out. I forget that you're my friend and I should write down all this stuff. But would you agree that once you started getting your life physically, emotionally, at work, you created, you know, your environment, your people around you, that your life has, like, where you are then to now, it's all intertwined?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy and feel really well balanced, and I feel like, you know, I could keep going like this forever. You know, I don't feel tired or exhausted or burnt out, and I feel like I've really set up a work-life balance in the way that I want to. Everybody wants something different, especially in my industry. What I see a lot of people do is they want to grow and they want to have a team and they want to have, and that's just not me. And I totally respect and think it's awesome that other people do, but I think when you really look at what you want and you base your decisions on that, that's how you can be happiest. And I mean, for me, I like the way the business has gone and grown because of that.
Well, I like it too. And as a friend, I am really proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't want to cry, but like I've just seen you change, and you were someone that like I look up to. And I know at one point I helped you, but now I look up to him.
I know. I don't see it like that. To me, I just think that you helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have gone on the spiritual journey without you. And all the theta healing sessions we've done together.
Yes.
Oh, the best.
Yes.
The best. So,
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't be here without being on that journey from you. And, you know, I think about, you really did see me at my craziest. I mean, I remember drunk calling in the middle of the night. You'd answer. You'd answer the phone. I'm like that too. I was like that too with my friends, always there for them. But I really appreciate your support over the years.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy. I'm excited to see where you're going for it. If you could tell someone who's just barely starting their emotional, physical, mind journey where you were, what is a piece of advice to get to? And that's why I started with your day now, because we're not going to get there overnight. It's like little things, right? But what if someone's just starting and is like, you know what, I want to start on this journey to make my whole life complete. What would be some advice?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you're not going to feel like doing it. So it's got to be a choice. It's got to be a choice that's not tied to emotion. So a commitment. And I would do one small change. So if it's going to be something with eating, okay, maybe you're going to eat healthy 2 days a week and then go from there. It doesn't need to be perfect. I've learned that from you. It's like, it doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to be as regimented as I do it. That just happens to be my personality. But I think even if you go off path, just jump right back on. And
don't put so much pressure. Like I always say, start small. And we're running out of time, but I always talk about like when I first decided to start using clean products, I was overwhelmed. And cause I wanted to change everything in my house and every product I put in, and, you know, and then I couldn't find them and all these things, right? But I do think they're so important to you. Like everything, like toxic. So I started slowly. I started with like just deodorant, right? And now 5 years later, almost everything is completely clean. Right? Not everything. I still need to find some good hair dye and some dry shampoo, but there's not a lot of hair products that are clean. But like my point is that it's now 7 years later and it's been a slow transition. But now I look and I'm like, oh, all the lotions I put on my body, all the face, all the makeup I use, everything, the shampoos, the conditioners, like I've transformed it, but it didn't. But at the beginning I was overwhelmed.
Oh, I bet.
And so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do one product. Then I'm gonna do one product. And then I'm gonna do a clean product, you know? And so and that, again, like you said, whatever it is you're choosing, it's not going to happen overnight, and don't try to do it all at once. Just try one thing.
Yeah, I'd say probably doing gratitudes is the easiest.
Yeah, that's easy.
There's no way you can't just get up and write down 3.
Yeah, if you can't do that, then you don't really want this.
100%.
That's it.
Yep.
Talk to me when you want it, okay? And it takes some work, it takes some discipline, and it's not going to be easy. But if you want to change your life, you can. But you got to work. And that's why I brought in Evan, because he's the hardest working person I know and still makes time for his friends and still makes time for me to send him dumb videos about like Diddy. And
that's important. That's important. That's my stress reliever.
TikToker or whatever. Do you want to plug? Can you plug like? If, by the way, if you ever have any questions about like real estate and all that, he makes great videos. Follow you on Instagram.
Yep. Broker Evan Tando.
And then any website, anything else?
Website is evantando.com. If you need anything real estate, loan advice, investment, how to grow a portfolio, I'm here to answer anything. Look at rate sheets. You can reach out to me anytime.
If you send him a message on Instagram, I bet you he'll do a video for it like by the next week. He'll be
probably.
Like, yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.